Hi everybody, welcome back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, and I wanted to do a quick beginner's guide to moving around the map to give you better options in terms of survivability. Now this is just a private game. I'm by myself, there's no enemies, so it should be a good opportunity to show you what I do and what I'm thinking of as I'm moving around in TDM and domination as well.
Team deathmatch. You are clear to engage all threats.
That's funny because there's no other enemies, so I don't know who was in that helicopter. Okay, so here we go. So, what we tend to always be thinking about in Call of Duty and first-person shooters in general is not exposing our bodies too much and using the I guess you'd call it peeker's advantage sometimes, but also the fact that our character is right-handed. So you see my guy is right-handed, isn't he? Which means that if I stand somewhere like this and I peek out, and remember you can click in the right stick to peek around corners, I'm exposing less of my body than if I was to do this. Because my character's, he's not changing to using his left hand, he's still using his right hand. If you imagine that in your head, what that would look like if you were right-handed but leaning out to look round a left column, more of your body is sticking out so you can see more. So try and remember that, that less of your body appears. But also, what we can take advantage of that is that it means that people who are coming towards us might well be thinking the same thing, and so will generally be on our left. So if I'm coming in this direction and I want to peek round here, I'll probably do it like that. So if I understand that, when I'm here I should be thinking, if so I hear footsteps, that somebody could well be there and I should be ready to hit them there. In Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I think you should use the old green cross code. I think you should use stop, look and listen when it comes to moving around the map. So before you do anything, stop, have a look at the mini-map, see where your buddies are, and where your buddies are is obviously where the enemies aren't, and listen out for footsteps, listen out for call-outs. Somebody just said contact or something like that. And then when you're ready to make a decision of where you want to go, and as you're going to move, have a look like this and go back into cover. So go dunk, dunk, just to see if anybody's there. And then when you're going to move, it's always best to zigzag and sprint as fast as you can. Remember, if you click in that left stick twice, you'll do a tactical sprint. And just be looking where you think enemies are coming from. And a lot of this comes from map knowledge. So I know that people could be running through there. They could be running around that rock there. They could be coming through there or coming through there, unless they've done a big flank and are coming through there. So then what you're doing is I've talked about this in previous videos, you're centering. So if you look at where my crosshairs are, I'm keeping them roughly where the entrance to that container is. See that container there? So that if someone does start running around, I'm already on target. Whereas if my sights were over there and someone came through, I've got to snap all the way across. So that's what we do. So let's kind of do this move. So we come up here, we think, right, they could be there, we could be there, could be there. Right, let's go around here, could be there, right, and let's have a look. And then you always want to be trying to shorten lines of sight, so that if there's a sniper or somewhere, they're not going to see you. So you'd zigzag to here. Now, as I'm moving over here, I know there's a chance that people could be there, especially if we're playing domination, because that's where the C flag is. So as I'm coming out, I want to centre there. Then as I get to this bit here, there's another carriage that's just passed there, that red carriage there, see that one? And there's a gap in it where people sit just there. So I want to be ready to aim to there, like that. So if they're there, bang. Then as you're coming round here, normally you have the C flag in domination, which is there. You've got that big long lines of sight there, but also people really like, there's that window there, and people like being up here as well. So as you're moving around, you're just thinking about these things. Where could potential targets be? And if in doubt, crouch, take behind cover, stop, look at the mini-map, listen to see what's happening, and then move. Now, as you're getting closer to where you think enemies are, you can take two choices really. You can go for it and be aggressive and slide and run fast, but obviously they'll hear you coming that way, but you know, you may well surprise them, shock and awe, you know, and kill them, which is great. Or if you sort of crouch down, you can walk slowly, and you'd be surprised how many people in Call of Duty are either playing, you know, not on headphones, so they don't hear you coming, or maybe, you know, their missus is shouting in their ear, their kids are shouting in their ear, and generally, you know, they haven't got the audible warnings that you've got. So you can creep up on people. When you're getting on top of places like this, just so when I'm up here, what I'm thinking about is, I know the B flag in domination is over, but people like coming up there and getting on those stairs there, so I'm thinking about pre-aiming there. You can come out of the B flag there, so people come there, people push through the centre there, and we can come over here, and again, as you're moving, this is, see this area here, this is wide open, this is very dangerous, this, because there's big long lines of sight down there, so whenever you're faced with this sort of situation, try and run across it as fast as you can, zigzag, slide, and be ready to shoot there, because people love kind of being in here, ready to cover this angle. Or the other one they really like is, they like covering here, because this is good position, you've got good cover, you can pop up and down, pop people out as they climb on top of there, pop people as they come along there. Now one of the things you might well have noticed, bashing through a door, you can, in fact we might as well show it, let's close this door. Remember, you can peek through doors as well, like that, and then you could throw something through. Don't manage to affect myself. You may well have noticed that we went round the edge of the map. We've gone all the way around the edge of the map, and I think that's quite important, that, because lots of players, the majority of players, will just charge from the spawn point to take the fastest route possible to find where the enemies are, so they can start killing them, especially if they start getting annoyed. But in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, you really are very rewarded for just thinking a little bit more and playing that a little bit more tactically. So think about the angles of getting, one, your back to the edge of the map so people can't sneak up on you that way, but also you're then looking in on people, you know, as they're concentrating on getting to the other team. You know, you're looking in on them, and you could possibly, you know, getting that flank on, getting that angle where they're looking in the other direction, and you can just shoot them. So you see here where I'm just going from corner to corner. Remember, these things like barrels, you can right click your stick, and then you can mount yourself on there for really good recoil, and also you're behind cover. Again, we're using the right-hander's advantage. And I'll finish off just by mentioning Peeker's advantage, or Rush's advantage. And what this relates to is the computer mechanics and the network mechanics behind first-person and third-person shooters, or any sort of shooter, where, say I'm coming up to this corner here, okay? Excuse me. So I'm running up to it. There's guys here, right? And he can hear me coming. Excuse me. You would think that this guy here who's defending the corner has all the advantages, and this guy has all the disadvantages, because when he comes up and looks around the corner, this guy is going to see him and just shoot him and kill him. But what you have to remember is that this is a computer game, and the data from my PlayStation in this case has to go to the central server and then be sent out to this guy, and then it has to come back to him and has to come back to us, and then that tells us where the other person is. This only happens so many times a second, and so the person who is moving fast has an advantage, because if you slide round a corner fast, on your screen you will see the defender before the defender sees you. And this is just something that happens. So if you charge really fast and slide, and pre-fire as well, so you fire as you're coming around the corner, like this, chances are you will see him and hit him before he sees you. Now this is negated a little bit in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 because the movement is so much slower, but just bear that in mind. Okay, so there we go. So that's been a little bit guide to kind of movement in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Hopefully you'll be able to get around the map a little bit safer, and you'll be able to get a few more kills and get a few more streaks going. That's enough from me, and I'll see you again soon.